Hi viewers, how are you all? I hope you are doing well. In today's video, I will tell you about Windows 11. When you install Windows, what does its interface look like? You have already used Windows 7 and Windows 10 before. If you have used or are currently using Windows 11, there are some options that you may not know about. So I will explain those options that we mostly used in Windows 7 and Windows 10. When you install Windows 11 on your system, its interface looks like this. I am explaining this after many days because I installed Windows 11 quite some time ago. I have pinned some programs here, and there are many program icons on my desktop. When you install Windows, you will only see the Recycle Bin icon on the desktop. If you want to add more icons to the desktop, here's how you can do it. You need to right-click on the desktop. In the right-click menu, you will see an option called Display Settings. In Display Settings, you will see the Personalization option on the left side. In the Personalization option, scroll down a little. Here, you will see the Themes option. Click on the Themes option, then scroll down again. At the bottom, you will see Desktop Icon Settings. Click on it. As soon as you click, you will see that only the Recycle Bin icon is selected. You can enable any icons that you want to show on the desktop. I do not need all the icons. I only need this PC, user files, and Recycle Bin. So I click Apply. Now I minimize this window. As soon as I apply it, these icons appear on the desktop. I click OK and close this window. This was the first step. First, we use this PC to open and access our computer. We use it to access program files and to view folders and files stored in the system. This was the first important step. After that, if you want to shut down, power off, or log off your system, you can do it from the Start menu. This is the Start button. When you click on the Start button, you will see the Power button here. When you click on the Power button, you will see options like Restart, Shut Down, Sleep, and Lock. When you click any of these options, that action will be performed on your computer or laptop. After that, if you want to search for any program, you can use the Search option here. For example, if I want to open Calculator, I type CALC and press Enter. Calculator appears at the top. If you want to search in another way, you have another option here. Click here, you will see Recently Opened Files, and Recently Opened Programs will also be shown here. If you want to see more programs, click on the All Apps option. When you click All Apps, you will see the complete list of installed programs, and you can open any program from here. Now, let's come back to the desktop. There are some items on the taskbar that you may want to remove. If you want to keep them, you can keep them. If you do not need them, you can remove them. I personally keep many options turned off. Now, open Taskbar Settings. Click on Taskbar Settings. A taskbar window will open. The first option here is the search box. This is the search box option. If you need it, you can keep it enabled. If you do not need it, you can hide it. If you keep it as an icon, you can click the icon to open search. You can also show the search box with a label, but I keep it hidden because I do not need it. Next is the Task View option. This is the task view. If you do not need it, you can turn it off from here. Next is the Widgets option. These are widgets. When you click here, you can see the latest news and updates from the internet. I also turn this off. There are many more options available in Taskbar Settings. You can enable the Virtual Touchpad from here. You will see the Virtual Touchpad option. If you want to enable the touch keyboard, you can select the Always option. If you are using a touchscreen laptop, you can enable the touch keyboard. If your physical keyboard is not working, you can use the virtual keyboard. You can control it with your mouse. If your keyboard is broken, you can still use your computer with the virtual keyboard. I keep this option set to never, so the keyboard does not appear automatically. After that, there are more options on the left side. I will show you where to go. The most important option is Settings. Whenever you use a computer, you often need to open Settings. Click on the Settings icon. When you click it, you will see complete information about your computer or laptop. This shows the computer name, this shows the device information, this also shows the model number, and many other system details are available here. If you want to turn Bluetooth on or off, you can do it from here. If you want to connect a Bluetooth device, you can connect it from here. Next, go to System. Here you can see system information. Go to Display. From here you can adjust brightness. You can reduce brightness from here. When you click Display, you will see the brightness option. You can increase or decrease brightness. You can also adjust volume from here. You can turn Bluetooth on or off. You can turn the internet on or off. You can enable or disable airplane mode. You can also enable night mode. If you want to use night mode, you can enable it from here. Night mode reduces screen brightness to protect your eyes. You can turn it on or off anytime. You can also enable HDR mode. HDR mode is mostly used for videos and pictures, especially when you are doing heavy graphics work. There are many more settings available here. There are also advanced display settings. You can change those settings from here. Here you can set the display resolution you want to use. My display resolution is set to 1920 by 1080. If you want to change the scaling percentage, you can also adjust the percentage from here. Your display orientation should be set to landscape. Portrait mode is rarely used on computers nowadays, so keep it set to landscape. After that, you will see the Bluetooth and Devices option. When I turn on Bluetooth, my earbuds that were previously connected appear here. They usually connect automatically. If they do not connect automatically, you can click the Connect button to connect them. You will also see options for devices like printer and scanner. If you want to add a printer or scanner, click on Add Device and search for it. Once detected, it will be added here. You will also see mobile devices here. If your mobile phone is connected to your computer, it will appear here. You will also see options for cameras, mouse, touchpad, pen and ink, autoplay, and USB devices. You can manage all these devices from here. Next is the Network and Internet option. You can manage your network settings from here. You can control all network options from here. For example, Wi-Fi can be turned on or off from here. You can also turn Wi-Fi on or off from the quick settings. There is also an Ethernet option. If your computer is connected directly using a cable, you can manage the Ethernet connection from here. You can control it from here. There is also a VPN option available. Inside the VPN option, you will see an advanced option for adding a VPN. If you use a VPN, you can configure your VPN settings here. You can add any VPN connection from here. Next, go back. Here you will see the airplane mode option. If you want to disable all network connections, you can turn on airplane mode. Just click airplane mode to enable it. There is also a proxy option. You can configure proxy settings here. However, proxy is rarely used nowadays. Very few offices or users use proxy settings. Next is the personalization option. If you want to change the desktop background image, you can select any image from your folders, and it will set that image as your background. If you want to change colors, you can select a solid color. Click here to apply a solid color. You can also change accent colors. This allows you to change the color of windows and interface elements. You can customize how the system colors appear. Go back again. Here you will see the dynamic lighting option. You will also see the themes option. As I explained earlier, you can apply any theme from here. The desktop icon settings we configured earlier were accessed through the Themes section. You can change themes from here as well. All these options are available here. These are commonly used options. Most users use these settings regularly. The purpose of explaining these Windows settings is to show you where these options are located and how you can access them. Many users already know this, but for those who do not know, this is useful new information. Next is the Apps section. Here you will see all installed apps and programs. Previously, we used Control Panel to check installed programs. You can still open Control Panel, press the Windows key, type Control Panel, and press Enter. Control Panel will open, just like in previous Windows versions. Click on Programs, then click on Programs and Features. Here you will see all installed programs. These are all the programs installed on your computer. Now close this window. Go back again. There is also an Advanced App Settings option. You can explore these settings as needed. You will also see Default Apps Settings. There are also Video Playback Settings. There are also Startup Apps Settings. Next is the Accounts section. If your Microsoft account is connected, it will appear here. My Microsoft account is already linked. You can manage your account settings here. Next is Time and Language. You can change the time zone from here. You can also change the system language. Next is the Gaming section. You can enable gaming mode from here. There is also the Game Bar option. I do not use it much. Next is Accessibility. Then Privacy settings. One of the most important sections is Windows Security. Windows includes its own built-in antivirus. It is enabled by default. This is called Virus and Threat Protection. When you click on it, a window will open. You will see all virus protection information here. This is the same antivirus system used in Windows. Finally, there is the Windows Update option. From here, you can check for updates. If updates are available, you will see a notification icon. You can also manually check for updates here and install available updates. These were the basic settings that I wanted to explain to you. These are very important basic features. Now, when you right-click on the desktop, you will see this menu. This is the updated right-click menu in Windows 11. You will also see the Refresh option here. You can click Refresh to refresh the desktop.
Now I open My Computer. As soon as we right-click inside My Computer, you can see that the Refresh button is not showing here. In Windows 11, the Refresh option is provided separately. You can simply click on Refresh or press F5 on your keyboard and the window will refresh. Next, when I right-click on a file, if I want to send it somewhere, the Send To option is not visible here. To access it, scroll down and click on Show More Options. Once you click on Show More Options, you will see the Send To option. From there, you can send the file wherever you need. Similarly, when you right-click and want to cut, copy, or paste, you may not see those options in the traditional list. In Windows 11, these options appear at the top. This icon is for cut, this one is for copy, this is rename, and this is delete. When you copy any file, you can right-click in the destination folder to paste it. If you don't immediately see the paste option, look toward the lower section of the menu. You can also use keyboard shortcuts. Press Ctrl-C to copy, Ctrl-X to cut, Ctrl-V to paste, and use the Delete key to remove a file. To rename a file, press F2 and the file name will become editable. These were the basic functions you need to know. Another important option is Properties. When you right-click, the Properties option is available, although in earlier versions of Windows it used to appear at the very bottom. You can also press Alt-Enter on your keyboard to quickly open the Properties window. This is Windows 11. It's very simple and user-friendly. There's nothing complicated about it. If you've installed Windows 11 and feel like it's difficult to use and are thinking about going back to Windows 10 or Windows 7, there's really no need to do that. Stick with Windows 11 and get comfortable with it. The system requirements for Windows 11 is generally a 6th generation processor or higher. While installation may be possible on older systems, it's recommended to use a 7th generation processor or newer for the best performance. On 7th generation and above systems, Windows 11 installs and runs smoothly. I hope you found this Windows 11 video helpful. If anything was unclear or if you'd like to learn more, feel free to ask in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and sharing it with your friends. I'll see you in the next video.